the greatest quote in the history of quotes. And if ever you're down, if ever you're feeling sad, you've always got this just to think of.
Let's say the dinner party lulls slightly. This is ideal.
Yeah.
Go on.
Or you're getting into that, what's your favourite quote?
Right, yeah.
Boom.
Bang.
You've literally got the ace of trumps. Yeah?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 19 of Bloomin Legends. I'm Johnny Vaughan. That is...
Gavin Woods.
Thanks, Gav.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I can't spoon feed.
Sorry.
I couldn't spoon feed.
So I was
you.
distracted by the photo of today's Bloomin Legend, which is hilarious.
Okay. How are you feeling this week anyway?
I'm feeling really good.
We're on episode 19.
We're into 19 and we're going to be covering a man who I didn't really know much about, to be honest.
What's weird about being on episode 19, that number 19?
Yes.
And I always like to do a bit of number fun at the start of the podcast. Firstly, I watched a programme about Paul Hardcastle making the song 19.
Yeah.
And it's because he was mixing something while there was a documentary about Vietnam on in the background.
And the average age of a US soldier.
And he heard that, it just fit the beat.
Right. And then he just sampled it and went, 19.
But the more I think about it, how fucking weird. What sort of weirdo makes a record about... And World War II, the average age of a combat soldier was 24. In Vietnam, it was 19. But we used to dance to it.
We did. Do you know what? I'd like to now research what year the movie Platoon came out.
85.
So when did 19?
85.
There you go.
It
was what was happening at the time.
John. I've got John. No, but my point is...
No further questions.
But having seen Platoon, we were dancing to it.
I know.
Can you imagine that?
I know.
But also, imagine it's in Britain. In World War II, the average age!
The weird contradiction that movie Platoon...
What?
...is it was famously a sort of anti-war movie.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty good war movie.
No, it's a great war movie.
It's quite. There's a bit of adventure there.
Oliver Stone, there's a company man.
Absolutely, yeah. No, he's telling a story, isn't he?
No, he's a company man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oliver Stone,
yeah,
has really got away with looking like this guy who's anti-war and reasonable. And I tell you what, he's achieved more than anyone else.
More patriotism.
No. He's first of all glamorised the Nam.
Yeah, 100%.
Which he definitely did. Well,
definitely.
To the extent we were dancing to a record that went,
right.
No, 19.
Right.
You know, and people were turning up at like nightclubs with like dog tags, trying to look like
they were.
Seriously.
And like putting their Marlboros in their sleeves and stuff.
People did.
Yeah, they were.
People started wearing things like MA1s. People started wearing American military gear. So that's one of Oliver Stone's achievements.
Yeah.
Another of Oliver Stone's huge achievements is adding more mystery and argument.
Oh, to the JFK thing? Yeah. Oh, just unbelievable. Yeah. What a load of rubbish.
Helping to obfuscate.
Yeah, as much as possible.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Oliver Stone, people see him as this sort of radical. No. Total
no.
reactionary, part of the machinery.
Yeah,
definitely.
Must be.
Absolutely, definitely.
Must
you look,
be.
any time he steps in, who does he always make look like the good figure? The bad guy. Wall Street.
Always, yeah, always. Yeah.
Greed is good.
Yeah.
That's what people remember for it. They don't remember Martin Sheen going, invest in my little airplane.
No, that's true.
No.
That's true. It's a counter message, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's the heel, Gav, like Donald Trump.
It is wrestling. It's wrestling. Yeah.
The rise of the heel.
Yeah.
And so we come to a proper hero who is not a heel. Gav, who have we got?
Today's Bloomin Legend, Johnny, is none other than Geronimo, the last Apache warrior king.
Okay. Apache is an exonym, isn't it?
What does that mean?
An exonym is, rather than autonym,
right,
is a name applied by outsiders.
Oh, I see, yes.
They didn't call themselves that.
No.
And there are no Apaches.
No, that's right. It was a conglomeration of different tribes that the Americans decided were all Apaches, yeah.
That's an exonym. An exonym.
I learned that today.
Right, so they didn't. It's like they didn't call each other Native Americans.
No, they didn't.
They just felt this was their fucking gaff.
Well, it turns out, Johnny, they didn't call each other Geronimo either.
No.
So the quick bio: he was a fearless Apache leader who spent decades fighting the U.S. and Mexican armies. After his family was killed, he was a master of guerrilla warfare. He became legendary for escaping thousands of soldiers with just a handful of his own warriors.
Yes.
The Apache warrior, Geronimo, the Apache warrior who refused to surrender.
Okay, can I just say right at the top, what makes him a blooming legend, I know he died in the 20th century, like 1909 or something, is that when I was a kid,
Yes.
yeah, Geronimo, and this makes him a blooming legend.
Yes.
Right at the top, and why I'm so interested in his life.
Go on, yes.
Having seen him really badly portrayed
Absolutely, Hollywood and
by white actors with war paint, is that when we did anything dangerous as kids, we shouted Geronimo.
Absolutely. And still today, US Marines or soldiers shout Geronimo.
Do they?
Especially, I think. The airborne, when they jump out of a plane,
right,
they shout Geronimo.
So the first time we were going off a high diving board, diving board, you would shout Geronimo, and it would be our word.
Still now, it's crazy. It's amazing.
So that at the very top of this,
100%.
That is what makes this guy a blooming legend.
Well, also, I'd say if he was one of the earliest proponents of so-called guerrilla warfare, that is pretty much what Special Forces is. Small groups of people who can hide well and cause a lot of damage for a small group.
Is guerrilla warfare a tautology?
Why?
Well, because guerrilla means warrior, war.
It means warista, doesn't it?
It means a war.
A guerra is a war, isn't it? Yeah. I guess so, I think it was the idea that it wasn't ranks of soldiers facing each other saying, here we are, there you are, let shooting commence. It was, no, we're just going to not tell you where we are. We're going to be in the bushes and we're going to grab you from the side, maybe.
Guerrilla just means a warrior. But I think the reason they use guerrilla all over the world is because generally guerrilla warfare is against the West, and it's trying to literally say your enemy like gorillas. They're savages, they're animals.
Sure,
So it's a word like gorilla.
It's a handy coincidence.
Right. Well, look who you think about. As soon as you hear about gorillas, who do you think about? You think about native peoples fighting in jungles, springing out, and it is, what they're trying to say is, ooh, ooh.
There's part of that, I'm sure. And also, it's the whole uprising thing, isn't it? Yeah.
When you were a kid, at what age...
I didn't know the difference till I was probably 13 or 14. Yeah.
You think it's guerrilla warfare?
Of course you do, because that's how it gets pronounced.
Right,
that's right.
More racism.
100%.
They're just trying to get in your system that these people, they're savages.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're literally gorillas. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Geronimo, born in 1829, born a child of the desert. So he's from Arizona. Right. That's where he's from. He was born to the Bedonkohe band.
He's not a child of the desert. He's got parents, hasn't he?
Well, he had parents.
You're being a bit romantic.
He wasn't
like begat by the desert. He didn't just suddenly spring out of the sands.
Conceived by the desert.
Right. Yeah.
So he was born to the...
A desert child, John. Look at you.
That's how he's described it.
That's how it says it.
That's
here,
right.
John.
1829, born to the Bedonkohe band of the Chiricahua Apache tribe in the Nodoyon Canyon, which is now Arizona. His real Apache name...
Child of the desert.
I know.
Yeah.
His real Apache name is Goyakla, which translates as...
one who yawns a lot.
One who yawns.
Yeah.
Isn't that just so simple?
I mean, my Apache's a little rusty, but I speak some still. I try and... I mean, anyone would know that. But to get that name...
Yes.
You must have really been striking how much he yawned.
Well, I mean, babies yawn, don't they? It's usually the first thing they notice about you, and that becomes your name. You know? Like, even here, Tall John or whatever, medieval names.
Tall John? Well, fuck are you talking about? Tall Paul, the DJ. But he must have yawned a hell of a lot.
A lot.
Remember, they had no distractions, no books, nothing. So all you do is observe humans. That's what you got to remember. Right. They really knew each other.
Yes. They're just looking at each other. Right. Yeah. Really noticing.
It's why they really could observe.
Especially the elders in the tribe who are now not going out hunting anymore. Right. They're just watching you. Which has been, I think, a tradition with elders generally.
What do you think of that boy? He yawns a lot.
He's yawning
yes,
an awful
I noticed
lot.
that earlier.
You noticed how much he yawns?
Yes, he does yawn a lot. Let's call him that.
What, yawn a lot?
Yawn a lot. Yeah. Go on.
So he's raised in what's called here the harsh beauty of the Southwest, Arizona, basically.
He's a child of the desert,
and he learned to hunt, ride, and fight. Listen, I keep saying this, any war hero, especially anyone who does anything with shooting, has grown up shooting and hunting. All the fighter aces, all the sniper, heroes in all the wars, they all grew up hunting.
Gav,
all of them.
It's the same with golfers. They all grew up on golf courses, didn't
They did, didn't they?
They all go and they got playing privilege.
Well, I'd say tennis players now as well. They're all on tennis courts from 4.
Gav, not the same as what I was saying with golf courses,
Yeah.
because that's a hunting thing. I'm saying you find out they live near a golf course. They used to bunk in at night,
Yeah.
play 5 holes.
Sure.
Sevi Ballesteros, yeah?
It's an unfair advantage.
He was a caddy at the golf club that his parents' house abutted.
Right.
And he used to go around caddying for people.
And they weren't members or anything. They couldn't afford it.
No, he's really poor,
Yeah.
dirt poor.
Yeah.
And he used to caddy for people. Deliberately, he used to pretend he couldn't find their balls.
Right.
So that he'd go back at night and get them because they used to play at night.
Because he didn't... and he used to play the course at night.
He used to play course at night, yeah, because they wouldn't let him on it. Because he was such, literally, scum. Sevi Ballesteros was
That's
scum.
amazing.
Yeah.
What a great opportunity for some hustling as well,
Yeah.
because you could say to someone who you could easily beat,
Yeah.
like once he's like 16 or 17.
Yeah.
But what you do is you say, I'll tell you what, I'll play with my eyes shut.
Yeah.
Because you've literally played in the dark.
That was his thing. He played in the
Round
dark.
the
And also,
whole
he was so
course.
poor, he didn't ever want to lose a ball.
So he had to find
Yes,
it.
yeah.
Wow.
It's not like sort of wealthy, middle-class golfers who don't mind just, I've lost a ball. To him, that's a really big deal.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But in many ways, he reminded me of Geronimo.
Now we come to the actual name, Johnny. He was called Geronimo. It's the Spanish for Jerome. And
that's
it's
a real downer.
And it's most likely because the way he fought against the Mexican soldiers. So Texas was being fought over by the Americans and the Mexicans.
Yes.
Who had just got rid of the Spanish as their overlords. The
Yeah.
Americans had done that to the British 30, 40 years earlier.
Yeah.
And now Texas is getting fought over,
Well, it's
as
like-
was then California and other places.
In John Ford Westerns, they always love it when John Wayne will refer to them as, you're a good old Texican.
Yeah.
That's not the because it's Teco and Mexico.
That's right. That's
They were
right.
Mexicans and Texicans.
Well,
People-
Mexico thought it was theirs.
Yes.
And the Americans, the settlers that went in the 1820s, so just before he was born, wanted to be American.
Yes.
They wanted to be allied.
But it
with
was
the Americans.
called Teco.
Teco.
It was Teco.
Of course it
and
was.
Mexico, yeah.
Of course it was.
The good,
And
honest Texicans.
anyway, the story goes is that he fought so well against the Mexican soldiers that they were calling on Saint Jerome for help.
Right.
Now, I've looked into Saint Jerome.
Okay.
Saint Jerome lived in was born in 340-ish AD.
Wow.
He was from sort of the Croatia or Slovenia part of the world.
Bloomin Legend.
And he was one of the first to translate the Bible into Latin. It was known as the Vulgate
Can I just
version
say,
of the Bible.
Can I just say, Bloomin Legend.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I know. He was a youthful libertine that turned into an ascetic moralist.
Okay. Did he?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Saint Jerome.
We should all aspire to that.
But really, I mean, that's basically Jeremy.
yeah.
And when you jump out of an airplane or off the high diving board, you're shouting Jeremy.
Yeah.
Which
Clarkson
is
would
not
be
the
proud, yeah.
Not the same.
Yes, that's
thing at
amazing.
all. Jeremy!
Jeremy! It's not the same, is
It's
it? I mean, I wouldn't
not
have done
the
that as a kid. When I was a
same
kid,
at
you
all.
know, Jeremy had a real stigma to it.
Geronimo sounds so much
Sounds
cooler.
fantastic, yeah.
Anyway, 1851. Here we get the beginning of why he was such a warrior.
Okay, go on then.
This is his John Wick origin story.
Okay.
While Geronimo was away trading, a band of Mexican soldiers attacked his camp, killed his mother, his wife, and his 3 young children. No puppies,
Yeah.
but otherwise...
Okay, there's an old saying, isn't it? A man who has killed another man's wife, mother, and 3 children cannot expect to sit at that man's table without the subject cropping up. But that is an old saying, isn't it? That's an old...
It'd be difficult to lose...
It might come from Geronimo.
It'd be difficult to lose the resentment,
Yeah, it
wouldn't
would
it?
do,
I mean, it would play in your mind at the very least.
You'd be thinking all the time, wouldn't you?
You'd be thinking nothing else.
This fucker, yeah.
You'd be full Kaiser
So
Sose.
some more pudding.
You would,
I'm
yeah.
going to kill you afterwards, because I tell you what, after this, you're not going to... If I was you, I'd treat this as a last meal, you fucker.
Well, obviously, this moment defined his whole life.
Right.
He swore revenge against Mexico and also later the US.
Hey, that's great, Gav. Okay, Bloomin Legend.
Absolutely.
I tell you why.
Why?
Because most of us, if you're going to get revenge, not that any of us are in that scenario, you swear you're going to get revenge on a guy.
Those 3 soldiers.
But to say, I'm going to get my revenge on Mexico. No, to swear you're going to get your revenge on a whole country.
I'm going to chin a whole country
Yes,
here.
yes.
I'm coming for you.
Yes.
Mexico.
Right.
Well, not just Mexico. Well, he was so ambitious, he decided to fight America too.
Right.
So he took on 2 countries.
Right, I
That
swear.
is a blooming legend moment.
One
that
day
is.
I'm going to get my revenge on Mexico. It's like that amazing. There's a film about guinea pigs that my kids used to like when they were little. It's like G Squad or
Right.
G whatever. I
Yeah.
can't remember. It's about guinea pigs,
Uh-huh.
and that one of them turns a bit bad,
Yes.
and he's got a chance to destroy the world.
Right.
And the reason they find out it's him,
Yeah.
but it's because his dad once said to him, as a guinea pig, this is, if you ever get the chance to bring mankind to his knees, take it. My kids.
Well, it's a kids' film.
Yes, but my kids couldn't understand why I laughed so much in the cinema. And it's the idea that a guinea pig's dad had said to him, if you ever get a chance to bring mankind to his knees, take it. Yeah.
It's so Orwellian.
Yeah, it's
such
fantastic.
a big concept.
But the idea, I will get my revenge on Mexico.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Well, it's ambition, isn't it? And we love an ambitious legend.
We love a
don't
bit of
we?
ambition, yeah.
So in the 1850s, obviously, his mindset was anyone who comes into my land. So to his mind, Texas is his land.
Yeah.
Mexicans can get lost. Americans can get lost as well. From the 1850s, between the 1850s and 1870s, he became the fighter, raider, and escape artist.
Okay, Gav, I know he became a warrior.
Yes.
With perhaps the most legendary name for any kind of resistance fighter in history in terms of the way you're going to tell us.
Almost the one of the originals.
The original.
Yeah.
Well, certainly in terms of the way it lives on.
Yes.
But didn't he start out as like a shaman, as like a healer or something?
Well, he did. There were ideas that he had supernatural powers. I'm not sure how much of that he, spoke about, or whether it was just spoken of him, because he was famous for disappearing into the countryside. That's kind of a sort of supernatural feeling. But he claimed himself to have healed himself and others. And his people regarded him as not just a sort of war leader, but a medicine man as well.
Right.
Or shaman.
Yeah.
So how do you become a medicine man? How do you become a shaman?
I don't know. I guess passed down from father to son.
It must be.
It would have been because
yeah.
he'd have known that, because they were part magicians.
Yes.
And a lot of it was down to faith. Look, I thought to myself ages ago, they find that thing where they drill into your head. What's it called? Teppanyaki.
No, that's
Teppanyaki.
Japanese food.
Teppanyaki.
Go on,
anyway,
we'll call it that. Yeah.
It's teppanyaki.
Yeah.
So they drill into people's heads.
Trepanning?
Right? Yeah, trepanning, yeah.
Yeah,
They
go
drill
on.
into people's heads.
Yeah.
And, those people, and it releases whatever.
Yeah.
Now, say those people actually had migraines or whatever.
Yeah.
But my point about it is, we laugh now, right? They also used to inject mercury down the urethra of people, of people's penises, of blokes.
Yes.
Yeah? They'd inject mercury to cure gonorrhea and
Well, they did leeches and cupping and all kinds of weird
My point
stuff,
is, it must have worked.
Something about it must have worked.
It must have done.
Well, if people...
Otherwise, Norm would go, he drilled into my head. Did it do anything? Nah, fuck all.
Yeah, did nothing.
It wouldn't.
Yeah. They wouldn't have gone for a second
one. It wouldn't have gone on for thousands of years. People go, literally, all of us. He's drilled loads of us in the head, did bugger all.
Well, we still do it now. We still take aspirin. That must have been around for centuries.
It's only a tree root or something, isn't it? Or a bit of bark.
We're still doing that.
Well, I sometimes wonder, as I look at flowers, I'm thinking, is one of these the cure for heart disease?
I always think that.
Have we not just nibbled? We haven't nibbled the right plant yet,
And is it a nettle or something
you
that's
got
just
aspirin.
there?
Everything from aspirin to opium. And if you think the poppy has never been surpassed as a painkiller, it's the one they've used in medicine all these years. Penicillin is just a bit of mold growing on something. You're thinking, hang on a second.
How do we know?
Are we sure
we've
exhausted the possibilities in nature yet?
Well, we can't have.
Right.
Because nature is just billions and billions of possibilities.
It's like enough flora.
How do we know resting a bluebottle fly under the tongue doesn't help you with tonsillitis?
Or just being a pestle.
We don't know.
I bet they tried it back then.
I'm sure it tastes disgusting.
Yes, absolutely.
That's part
disgusting.
of it. Yeah,
it's like with the science of sort of mushrooms and things.
Yeah,
you can go really wrong.
You can go off-piste in a heartbeat.
Okay, you could die instantly from some of them, but you imagine the test. Did they test on enemies?
Well, they must have.
They must have done.
They must have. Yeah. They must
Otherwise,
have.
like
They
a
must
shaman
have.
going, here, you all go like that. Bob, do you fancy a bit of this? Nice, delicious. He's like,
Well,
Anyway,
yeah.
the point.
Well, no, I mean, I'll explain the context a
Okay,
bit.
okay,
So
go.
his first encounter with the supernatural was just after that famous 1851 massacring of his family.
Yeah.
He went into the mountains alone,
Right.
where he heard a voice calling his Apache name, Goyakla, sorry.
Yeah.
4 times, a sacred...
Your Apache is not that strong.
No,
is it?
my Apache's
I've never heard
rusty as hell these days.
Yeah, I know you. You sounded a bit tentative there. Gav.
the
You
4
weren't
times-
confident of your Apache.
The 4 times I can order a starter
I can.
in Apache.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I speak restaurant Navajo.
I can get a cab.
Yeah.
But apparently repeating it 4 times is a sacred... Well, 4 is a sacred Apache number.
Right.
Then he heard, "No gun can ever kill you. I will take the bullets from the guns of the Mexicans." He's hearing this in the wilderness.
Yeah.
"So they will have nothing but powder. I will guide your arrows."
Yes.
Now, Geronimo practiced the gun ceremony, so a series of prayers and songs to give specific parts of the guns powers. He gave them ceremonial names: the trigger, the hand.
But you wonder how ancient those incantations were.
Well, yeah, with regard to guns,
Yes.
I mean, they would have done it with their hatchets and their knives and whatever.
But you wonder
wouldn't
if someone said, "And this gun thing, it goes back thousands of years." But it's like when you see those
they? Yeah,
adverts.
the word Winchester wasn't part of the original.
Yes.
The original prayer. Yeah.
I saw an advert in can't remember what it was, one of the local London papers.
Yeah.
And in there, it's got spiritual in the small ads.
Right.
It's got a spiritual section.
Right.
And in there, there's some guy. I think he was a Nigerian, effectively shaman.
Yeah.
Offering help with all these spiritual matters, and it says in relationships, and he was offering these ancient. He offered the the knowledge of the ancients,
right,
and ways to overcome these things. And then it said
relationships.
It said relationships, fertility,
right,
marriage,
ancient concerns,
work, ancient concerns. Then at the very bottom it said visa problems. I'm thinking, do not tell me there is an ancient bit of witchcraft.
Well, they do say the Catholic Church doesn't move quick enough with the times.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Well,
it's nice to see. I'd like to see how ancient that one is.
But apparently, we do hear that guns of his enemies often jammed or misfired.
Wow.
When they tried to shoot Geronimo, and he was never seriously wounded by any gun. Although I would say black powder, it only needs a slight bit of moisture in the air and it stops working.
Yes, it does, yeah.
And also guns weren't that accurate until rifled barrels, which didn't come until around then.
Gav, have you read any of the accounts in Vietnam of the M16?
Well, famously didn't work for the first 2 or 3 years of its service,
They reckon it was responsible for 17,000 extra deaths.
Right.
So, but I do sort of believe this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Anyway,
the other aspect, sorry, I just want to pick up on is when anyone wants to maybe do a bit of bullshido.
Yes.
They always say, "I went away for some time."
Oh, yeah.
And I saw some things and I was told some
yeah.
things and I came back and I'm now a kung fu master.
Right, right.
Here's my trophy I was given on the island.
Hang on, wait a second. Are you saying that kung fu masters go off in the desert and just sort of work out loads of really get tight with...
Well, they say there was a famous real liar story on the Joe Rogan podcast where he talks about this guy who got a cab to drop him off in the woods, and he had a big, like a military, those long sort of bags they carry their gear in, and he got picked up 2 days later with a trophy.
Fantastic.
That he obviously had with him in the first place, and he said he'd gone to a tournament and blah blah blah.
Anyway, Gav,
go on.
It is a massive career pivot. And that's a real modern word. I decided to pivot. It's really weird how people have been doing career changes for ages, but it's this real modern thing of because of technology, I've done a complete pivot. I'm out of property. I'm now into gastropub. This sort of idea of pivoting.
Yes.
Shaman to warrior.
I know, it's a hell of a pivot.
That's a hell of a pivot. Gav, I've looked up.
Yes.
So what I've done, Gav, I've looked up some of the 5 big career pivots.
Okay, go on then,
And I
yes.
want you to tell me if you think Geronimo outranks them.
Okay, from
Shaman-
shaman to warrior.
Shaman to warrior.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, okay,
Priest to soldier.
Yeah, priest to soldier. No, but shaman to warrior.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you sense that when they're all going off to fight, you know, the shaman are like, stay. It is not your time. You know,
There will be fighting.
But how handy. Stay. They will need you when the warriors come home. You're more important here. You know, we've got to pray for victory. That's our job.
Also,
you know?
future telling.
Yeah, yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. And in many ways, almost like MPs.
Yeah,
hurriedly
very
sending
similar.
everyone off to
Yeah,
war and saying, you know, we've got to be here.
Yeah.
No, we can't fight. Someone's got to be here to vote on the heather and grass burning bill, you know, or something like that. Anyway.
Go on, let's hear the other pivots.
Okay, here's some other pivots for you. Ready? So, here's one for you. This is a big pivot. You ready? Gwen. Her name's Gwen Dean. She's a former operations engineer. She received global recognition in 2014 after she quit her job during a Super Bowl commercial. Yeah. So she was an engineer, very, very successful. She was a chief of the world's biggest refrigeration company. Do you know what she quit it for?
What?
Become a puppeteer.
A what? A puppeteer?
Yeah.
Actual, like,
Yes,
doing puppet shows?
Yeah, puppet shows, yeah.
That's one of the weirdest pivots I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's a massive pivot. Okay, you ready?
I mean, usually they're slightly related.
Yeah.
Go on, yeah.
Okay. Martha Stewart.
Yes, famously.
She turned from model, pivoted to become a stockbroker, and then pivoted to become a gourmet cook.
Right, and a stint in prison.
And a stint in jail. So that's a double pivot.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for this?
Go on.
Okay, next, Harrison Ford.
Right. Oh, yeah, famously, a carpenter?
Carpenter.
Set builder, wasn't he?
But for me, unfortunately, as far as carpenter ones go, Jesus takes the
absolutely
takes
right.
The biscuit
no one's
because
pivoted from carpentry more dramatically
to God.
Yeah, I mean to go right to the top.
No, to be God.
Yeah, everything.
God.
Yeah, God.
You know, if you believe like we do, Gavin. Okay. And here's my last one. Are you ready?
Go on.
This is a big one.
Yeah.
This is Gary Stocker.
Go on.
Yeah. He was a millionaire lawyer.
Yeah.
Guess what he gave up his career to be?
Speedway champion.
No, human cannonball.
What?
Human cannonball.
And did he actually do it?
Yes, he did it. Yeah, he did it. He bought the kit a lot. Gary Stocker. He's an Oxford-based former academic law writer and legal recruitment officer. Yeah. He was born in a tiny town in the United Kingdom to middle-class parents. He graduated from Oxford University with a law degree. He's a top lawyer, one of the big brains. He lived in a multi-million-dollar mansion, led a luxurious life, and he realised that what he wanted to do,
most of all,
was travel at speeds of up to 60 miles an hour before landing in a sodding safety net.
That's insane.
Do you know what gets me about that, Gav?
Yeah.
And the reason I'm so pleased we've got one human cannibal story in here.
Yes.
Because I can tell you, I'm going to tell you all out there now, something, and particularly you, Gavin, you know this.
Yeah.
The greatest quote in the history of quotes. And if ever you're down, if ever you're feeling sad, you've always got this just to think of.
Let's say the dinner party lulls slightly. Yeah. This is ideal. Go on.
Or you're getting into that, what's your favourite quote?
Right, yeah.
Boom.
Bang.
You've literally got the ace of trumps. Yeah?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Barnum from Barnum and Bailey.
P.T. Barnum,
who once famously said, which is really good, I don't read publicity, I measure it.
Right, yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And he meant with a ruler.
Oh, he meant it,
Yeah.
He
Don't
really
read it,
did.
I measure it with a ruler. So he said his human cannibal is a short, fat geezer.
Yeah.
Sorry, a plump man.
Sure.
In modern parlance. Mm-hmm. He was retiring after all these years.
He'd had a good run as a human cannibal.
Cannibal, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
and it comes his time to retire, and he's going. And this guy's really famous. He's come to do because obviously circuses before television.
Yeah.
You know. So he's come to the press conference to announce it to the world, and he's leading the tribute. Well, he said he wouldn't have done that. It's just been bang. And he was asked, "What are you going to do now?" And Barnum said, "You know, we love him." And then his classic quote is, "It's going to be very hard to find another man of his caliber." He said, standing in front of the actual cannon. And no, but to be literally true, imagine how good he felt.
Oh, it's just amazing.
Oh,
amazing.
It's going to be hard to find another man of his caliber.
He would have been casting his eye around the crowd he was talking to find
There'd
his
have
next
been very
bullet.
little skill to make a human cannibal. Man, all you need is nerve and equipment. Yeah, right.
And strong ankles.
Yes. Not like being a shaman turned warrior. And so we come to number one in our... Well, and so we come to the fifth of our career pivots. You know, we got Martha Stewart.
Yes.
We've got our man Gary, legal writer to human cannibal.
Yes.
We've got the engineer turned puppeteer. Harrison Ford. This is
Carpenter to movie star.
Carpenter.
It's not bad.
If we don't count Jesus,
Right,
and
yes,
then and then the last nomination, and this is in no order.
Geronimo himself.
Shaman into warrior.
Anyway, he took part in countless raids. He would go on raids. So that's proactive defense, that is. Against Mexican and American military forces. He became a master of guerrilla warfare, known for just disappearing into the mountains. And
not disappearing, he was
and
hiding.
deserts. Yeah. No, he could apparently disappear. He just knew how to hide.
I'm just saying, be careful.
Covert warfare is what we're talking about. He could just hide. He could hide. You couldn't see his breath.
What's amazing is when you read how few of them there were in these gangs. There's like 20 to 40 of them.
Yes. That's the amazing thing.
There's nothing.
He was good. We'll find out in a minute how many soldiers he had chasing him at one point. But he got away from them for ages.
Well, they knew
months and months.
Because the land is vast.
Yeah.
He's just slaughtering settlers. They're just going in there.
He's taking revenge willy-nilly on anyone.
Takes about an hour to load a gun. Jig. They just went in there and they slaughtered the lot at night.
Yes, you're right. And then they rode away and hid just over there.
Next to all the horses.
That's right. Yeah. So this is his Bloomin Legend. This is his second Bloomin Legend moment. He's so good at warfare that his enemies thought he had supernatural powers, and there's not enough of this these days.
He's a shaman.
Well, not just that, but he was thought to be able to catch bullets. He was so good at not being caught or shot that they thought he could catch a bullet.
Wow.
He's got hands of iron, I tell you.
He caught them bullets. They come down there, I tell you.
I tell you what.
Dagnabbit.
Nearly about.
People just talking in frontier gibberish. Going,
oh, definitely. Well, they were literally
what tarnation you talk about? He just about caught them bullets nearly about.
And because there's no iPhones, no one can prove, disprove or prove.
Well,
there's no cameras, there's nothing.
There's no video
cameras. So the stories, that whole world was rumour.
Yeah.
So, there were stories that soldiers believed he could see into the future. That's just him watching them from a mountaintop, knowing which way they're going.
Yeah, right.
He could stop bullets with his... He could stop bullets with his...
I swear to God, he must have known where we was going right back when we didn't know where we was going. He just watched you from a mountain.
He saw you. Yeah.
It's his countryside.
He was behind the carriage listening to you talk to each other.
Right. You're a bunch of second-generation Irishmen or Scots in the middle of a sodding desert. Sweating your bollocks off in a desert, just cluelessly trawling round, running out of water and whining, yeah? And he just watched you. I swear to God, he must have seen inside my head and then plumb down disappeared.
Well, these sort of mythical war characters have always been used in propaganda.
Yes.
At the beginning of the Russian invasion, there was supposedly this Ghost of Kiev pilot, which never existed.
No.
But it's annoying because the internet just kills it in about 2 weeks now. But in those days, very handy. Yeah. And apparently some US service...
I can't believe they still said that.
I know.
I swear to God, he can see into the future.
Well, no, some of them refused to go out on patrols if they thought he might be involved, because you can't fight this guy. He's invisible.
Yeah.
He can catch bullets.
Yes.
You can't do anything.
No, it's his backyard.
Yeah.
Is the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
He just knows it.
It's Stalingrad. It's Stalingrad.
This ground is utterly strange to you. He knows it like the back of his hand.
That's right. But I know that there's rattlesnakes over there.
Yes.
And a little ditch I can just lie in.
Yeah.
And no one's going to look for me there because my thing is the same colour as sand.
Yeah.
So he can disappear.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So here's another Bloomin Legend moment, and we shall salute him for this. You have such a fearsome reputation that soldiers refuse to go out to fight you.
Bloomin Legend.
That's a Bloomin legendary moment. That is such a propaganda victory already.
I'd like to have heard the excuse. No, well, they just made up these excuses, so it really helped them. He can see into the future.
And hopefully he fed into it.
Right.
Hopefully he heard the rumours and he did things to make it seem
he's probably listening, Gavin, visibly in the camps.
What, just over there with a different hat on?
Yeah. Go on.
Okay, so
I mean, the fact he looks just like Claire Short.
he looks
is
just
irrelevant.
like Claire Short.
Incredible,
It's
isn't it?
amazing.
With
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of bubbles from a Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, and a touch of Jack Palance.
And a bit of Jack Palance,
the
yeah,
jaw,
but mainly
yeah.
Claire Short.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Anyway, so now we're into the sort of 1870s, and this is what's being described as the last Apache holdout. So in 1874, the US government pushed Apache tribes onto reservations, forcibly removing 4,000 Apaches to San Carlos in Arizona.
Yeah.
The reservations were completely barren land with no resources, and they were unable to fulfill their tribal ceremonies and their seasonal habits and everything. The way they hunted.
Well, don't be so dismissive. Seasonal
No, I'm not being
habits,
dismissive.
No,
it's
but you were
worse.
a
No,
little
it's
bit.
worse. I meant the way they live, the seasonal, the way they move to where they hunt and all that. They couldn't do any of that.
I thought you slightly mumbo
No.
all the
No,
seasonal stuff,
This is catastrophic because they didn't just die from smallpox and all kinds. They were
this is way after that.
all displaced.
Yeah.
It was 10 million Native Americans in the 1500s.
They kept moving on to sort of reservations, going back on their word all the time. They had actually no honour about it.
Yeah, they would make agreements and then renege on it. Yeah.
Yes, and they. I mean, if you think they moved them onto land they thought was utterly worthless at first, and then they find gold.
Right.
So they move them onto land. This is one example of one particular tribe I was reading about the other day.
Right.
They moved, it was Comanche or something. They moved them off this land because it had gold on it. So they moved them off. They put them on what they considered the most worthless land they could possibly find. What happens? Oil. They move them off that land. They think, where can we put them now? They move them onto something even more worthless. What do they find? Uranium. Wherever they move them, they sort of find this,
It's amazing.
And they just keep going back on their word. They just were treated so we're not here to do that.
No. Anyway, so he resisted all these moves. He didn't want to get pushed onto further different reservations. He continued to battle with the US military now. In 1885, with only 35 warriors and their families, he escaped from the San Carlos reservation and he fled into Mexico, pursued by 5,000 US troops.
Right.
5,000. And also, at that time, 500 Mexican troops were helping him.
Right.
They both wanted to catch him.
Right. But he'd sworn revenge on Mexico.
Well, this became the largest manhunt in US military history.
Wow.
And they couldn't catch him for a year.
Right.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
A year.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. He evaded them for 10 months and travelled 1,645 miles before they tracked him down.
Yeah.
Before they even found him, let alone got hold of him. So that's a Bloomin' Legend moment.
That's a Bloomin' Legend moment.
That's probably his biggest achievement.
Yeah, so they had the biggest manhunt in
US military history. I can't think of any other time when 5,000 soldiers were looking for one guy.
No.
I can't think of anything else. I can't think of anything.
No, of course nothing springs to mind, Gav.
Bin Laden. If you count all the different agencies.
Yeah, that's got to be a bigger. That's a bigger manhunt.
That's about it.
Because that's arguably, Desert Storm.
Yeah, absolutely.
2,
So here we're now coming into another Bloomin' Legend moment. He escaped and hid from 5,000 troops.
Yeah.
The biggest hit.
Mind you, big countryside, he had a lot of mates.
He did, and he was heading away from America into Mexico. But if the Mexicans are helping, I don't know why, because he was fighting them too, I guess.
Because that's your key, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
that is.
I mean, never. I'm just saying. I assume back then, as now,
deals were struck.
Yeah, you can do deals.
Deals were struck.
Cash.
Yeah. So, and this is why it's such a legendary moment. It's because all his skills, which were real skills, being able to hide well, he managed to evade capture through impossible terrain. His tales became legendary.
What sort of countryside is he in here, Gav?
Well, he's gone down. He's gone south into Mexico.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay, for
example,
the short answer. Remember, France is the biggest country in Europe, right?
Right.
That's discounting Russia, which is obviously
Yeah,
vast,
yeah,
but
of course,
France is the biggest. Remember, Texas is bigger than France.
Yes.
So
it's huge.
And there is bugger all there.
Yeah.
So when you say he's hiding and there's 5,000 people looking, I want you to imagine 5,000 people, which is like a small, like a sort of third tier football club crowd.
Yeah. Now spread them across, even France.
Right. Now imagine France is empty and them looking for one guy.
Yeah. You're right.
So
you're right. And there's no mobile phones to phone each other. There's no sightings.
So
you're
all
right.
these sort of facts you're coming out
doable.
with,
Yeah.
To me, I just want to laugh in your face.
Yeah, sure.
I just feel like pointing and laughing at you
Well,
because I'm much more aware of the scale. Now, when you start bringing bringing Mexico in as well, let's say we've just added Spain for northern Mexico.
Yeah,
So
except I would say Mexico. Word travels fast in Mexico.
no, word does travel fast. I'm just saying, though.
Yeah.
So you did it at
You're
that
right.
time.
It is a lot easier.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. Just imagine France and Spain, because it's not be all of Mexico. You got 5,000 geezers looking for one bloke in all of France and Spain, and France and Spain are pretty well empty.
Well, one of the U.S. officers complained that Geronimo and his people seemed to just be able to melt into the desert.
Yeah, I bet they could.
Just to melt into the desert. It's a great.
But he was, as you say, he was a child of the desert.
He was. It was his mother.
Yeah, it was just.
It was his mother.
He was. He's begat by sand.
He used to snog rattlesnakes
He
for
did.
fun.
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah, coyotes.
So at this point, he does surrender.
He'd made love.
He's in
with
Sonora
coyote.
in Mexico.
Okay.
And
start again. He's in Sonora.
So it was at this point that he does eventually surrender, and he is in Sonora.
Why did he surrender?
Well, because they caught up to him.
Okay.
And there were 5,000 of them.
Yeah.
And he had 35. That led a small group on the run for 5 months, and he evaded the U.S. military in total for a year. So it's still pretty good.
Amazing.
A whole
Gav.
year. Still pretty good. But way better than Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Oh, they ended up in Bolivia jumping off a.
That's right. That's right.
Being pretty reckless, Gav.
Doing really bad robberies.
Yes.
Saying, "Esta es un robo."
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly right.
One of my favourite scenes in that film. So in 1886 is the moment of his final surrender. He's starving. He's exhausted. He sees no future for his group. Geronimo surrenders to General Nelson Miles. That's one of the most English names I've ever heard.
Yeah.
General Nelson Miles takes prisoner of him. And
Nelson Miles.
I know.
There are.
Arthur Harcourt.
Yeah,
thank you.
Arthur Harcourt, yeah.
Geronimo, I believe. And he becomes a prisoner of war, and he spends years in prison in Florida, Alabama, and finally Oklahoma, a place called Fort Sill.
Yeah.
Very far from his homeland. He never returned to his ancestral lands, and he never stopped. This is key. He never stopped regretting his surrender.
Yeah.
Because from the 1890s up to the 1900s, he became a bit of a celebrity.
They used to drag him round to like fairs, show him off.
They took him round Wild West shows.
Yeah.
He became part of the sort of travelling shows.
Don't tell me, I know he's a rebel and all that, but don't tell me it wasn't a bit like, old rivals at anything. When they sort of do those things like, back then I used to...
Well, you mean like Masters football?
Yes. It's kind of like Masters golf,
Of course,
suddenly they're all friends.
Of course, they're happy to have a drink now, but in the old days...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think you might be right
Or even
there.
you see on the World at War when they sort of interview a Nazi on it, like sort of Reinhard Spitze.
Yeah.
Who's like Ribbentrot's personal secretary, and suddenly he's talking away about the Nazis.
Yes,
and it's
I see it.
You just become part of, or you get those Vietnam documentaries, which is probably a really good parallel.
Where you have a soldier from each side as old men talking to each other.
Right.
Yeah, I see that. Also, I like to think, because America is kind of an outlaw nation.
Yes.
It's an outlaw. The country is an outlaw because they went against the law of the English land.
Yeah.
So they like an outlaw. That's never been away.
Yeah.
And so even though they were now the law of the land, they kind of respected the outlawishness.
You just wonder how Native Americans, I'm going to call them Americans because they are.
Sure, yeah.
I always find it amazing that and I say this with no disrespect, I'm not trying to make a political point here, but I find it amazing the way they compartmentalize Americans. So let's think about this. They talk about he is Italian American.
Yes.
Irish American.
African American.
African American.
Yeah.
And then there's Native Americans.
Yes.
What the fuck is an American?
Well,
but without a prefix.
Yeah, right. Well, obviously to them, the ones who formed the American government, they see themselves as European Americans.
No, because that's Italian American, Irish American. I tell you exactly what it is.
English.
It's English.
Yeah, you're right.
It's English.
It's English.
That's what an American really is.
Anyway, so Geronimo, he rode in President Theodore Roosevelt's 1905 inaugural parade dressed in full Apache attire. He even asked Roosevelt to let him return to Arizona.
Yeah.
Roosevelt refused, which I think is a bit churlish. He was really old by then. I don't understand that. But during the parade, he even made money posing for photos while he was still technically a prisoner.
Yes.
In 1909, he dies. He's thrown from his horse while riding in the cold.
How old is he? 79.
He died of pneumonia on February 17th, 1909 in Fort Sill, still a prisoner of war.
Right.
His final words: "I should never have surrendered. I should have fought until I was the last man alive."
That's fantastic.
So he felt his
Gav.
That's Bloomin' Legend. I was bringing a little tear to my eye. That is.
I should have fought until I died.
Because, I mean, it's obviously an unwinnable battle.
But also,
and he still felt that way.
You think how you'd feel if you were what they call Native Americans, what we're calling Americans, because they are. They're from America.
Yeah.
They just call them Native Americans,
Yeah.
other than. But you think how you'd feel if you heard Trump and everyone talking about foreigners coming to America.
I know.
You'd be sitting there thinking, sorry, are you getting the
am
irony?
I going
of this?
mad here? Yeah.
Well, you're worried about another Mexican wanting to come and work here, you know? It's crazy, but also, I think that what you'd really bulk at is that whole thing, the land of the free and the home of the brave. And you're thinking, hang on a second, robbed from the braves and built by slaves.
Yeah.
And no irony around that.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Crazy.
It is mad, isn't it?
It
The
is incredible.
ironies are just thick and fast.
And also, none of this any great time ago.
No, not that long ago.
You know, if
100 and something years ago. Yeah.
You know, if we
it's
think
mad,
a woman died, as I always say, in 1970 in Kent.
Yes.
Whose dad was born in 1799.
That's insane.
And that's the last person in Britain with 18th century parentage. The reason I bring it up is it's at the start of, I think, Winston Churchill's History of the Second World War or History of the English-speaking peoples, I forget. But he says, you know, whenever you are examining history, always lay your own life over it. Or
a lifetime.
Or a lifetime time frames. You know,
Yeah.
the reason that one's relevant and where I sort of lay my life over that is that woman who died in 1970. I was born in 1966.
Yeah.
I could have spoken to her.
Yes.
Her father, who was born in 1799, could have easily fought at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815.
That is mind-blowing.
So he'd have been 16.
Yeah.
That means in my life, if I'd met her and she'd spoken to me about her father, I could have said, yes, it's weird. When I was a kid, my neighbour's dad had fought at Waterloo. She used to talk about it.
That's insane.
That's in my life.
Mind-blowing.
So
Yeah,
when you start talking about this guy, he died in 1909. My granddad was born in 1905.
Right, so it's not that long ago.
Right, my
at all.
granddad, Chelsea Football Club was formed in 1905.
Right.
My granddad, on my mum's side, he could have easily spoken to Geronimo. He's, you know, at the age of, okay, he'd have been 4, but, you know,
it's possible.
It's possible if he'd gone to America.
Right. Yeah. And this is what we're going to end on, Johnny. His final Bloomin' legendary moment. Still today, US paratroopers would shout his name Geronimo as they jump out of an aeroplane.
I think as a warrior, he'd take that his old enemy.
Yeah, definitely.
And
to be respected by an enemy, definitely.
And I've read a lot about the West. If you really want to read about it, you read your Cormac McCarthy, Larry McMurtry. Admittedly, it's fiction, but quite revealing.
Yeah.
And in there,
it's warts and all, especially Lonesome Dove.
Yeah, like Blood Meridian or anything.
Yeah.
But what emerges as you read them is that every tribe had, or most tribes would have their leaders who would never have surrendered.
Yes.
So lots of Native Americans were packed.
Did fight to the last
No,
man,
were sold to the West Indies, to the
they?
British, to be as slaves
be labourers,
because they
really?
would never be slaves in their own land.
I
People sort of
see.
say, hang on a second, why do they have to bring all these people over from Africa when they've got lots of Native Americans they could have used?
Right, of course.
Because they wouldn't. They knew the land too well. They wouldn't have worked.
Easier to
so
move
they sent
them,
loads over there. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
But the second thing is that they wouldn't be conquered. And what's weird is the winner's respect lives in that war cry of the US Marines, who really are the sort of, you know.
Yeah, the airborne.
The iconic American ass kicker. You know, and yet still they kind of honour him with that. When you really need to pluck up the courage, when you really need to dig deep, you go to something that is Native American.
Amazing.
Geronimo, you know, and that's quite telling.
It's a hell of a legacy.
Hell of a legacy.
Well, let's salute it.
Let's salute him. Geronimo! Bloomin' Legend.